Everybody. There we go. Okay. Always, always do a sound check. That's my advice for today. All right. Can you guys hear I've got a loop going. Can you hear the loop? Hey, Martin. Oh, I'm so glad. What are you tracking in your practice journal? What are you working on? Hey, Caleb. Good to see you here. I'm going to pause my little ditto guy, and I've got some questions, so I'm going to hop in and try to answer some questions. So, hey, Glenn Michael Thompson from Montreal, welcome in, bienvenue. San Gabriel says, "Woo, sweet archtop." Yeah, this is a Benedetto. This belonged to a really beautiful friend of mine, and longtime friend and occasional student, really dear friend. And when he passed, his wife gave me this guitar, and it's really beautiful. It's also a little surprising. It was born blue. I don't know if you can really see around the edge of the bridge here. There's not a lot of light. Oh, but just around the edge of the bridge, actually on that side, you can see how it used to be really dark blue, like here. But it has faded to this kind of walnut color. which is also really nice. Anyway, that's the story of this guitar. I've had it just since January or so, and it's thinner than, say, a 175, but I think it's about the same size top wise. It's really fun to play. Really beautiful guitar. Martin says he's working on triad ideas from the master class that I did with Molly Miller and some basic chord melody. Cool. Yeah, that's always valuable to work on. Given everything you could be working on, how to decide what to practice? Do you set goals every month or so, or is it more fluid for you? That's a really great question. I have had some seasons, and I say season, that could be as little as a month and as long as a year for me. So I'm not talking about actual like seasons of, the cycles of the planets, but just a practicing season for me could be a month, for anywhere from a month to a year. And I do set goals sometimes. I'll be honest, these days it's pretty fluid just because I'm doing a lot of things. So I have to always be preparing for particular gigs I'm doing and stuff like that. But for sure, you get more done when you have clear goals. I firmly believe that. So if you're not scrambling to keep up with music you have to learn for a gig or stuff like that, then I would keep your practice sacred to you and set goals and just only work on those things. Don't follow trends or whatever else anybody else is up to. Just work on the stuff that's important to you, because that's how you make progress. Raphael Morgan says, "Hi Adam, I have a question. How do you navigate the fretboard? I mean, so people use pentatonic shapes as guides, others use caged, others use triads. Each person has their own map. What's yours?" So yeah, my map is triads. And that's because when I was in music school, the main teacher at the school where I went really, that was the roadmap. So we first learned all the triads on each string set. So if we're in C, you'd have C, root position, first inversion, second inversion, and then you'd have it, I'm just go to the lowest possible. I guess this would be the lowest possible on the first string set, actually. But so first inversion, second inversion, root position, first inversion again, and I guess you could keep going up there, and then root position, first inversion. There we go. Second inversion, back to root position, rusty, and then down low, second inversion, root position. There we go, first inversion. And you would just learn those. There we go. So that's in C, and you'd want to learn it in all the 12 keys. So you do it in C, then you do it in F, then you do it in B flat, and then the minor triads. And of course, there's other types of triads, but start there. And then maybe one thing we did in that class was take one shape around the circle of fourths. So if this is your C shape, root position, first string set, you'd lock that shape and you'd go C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B, E, A, D, G, C, and so on. So one way to go around the circle of fourths is one grip around the circle. Another way would be voice leading: C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and so on. Then you could do that on all the string sets and so on. So that when I look at a chord chart that says whatever, let's say I'm looking at a chord chart for all the things you are: F minor 7, B flat minor 7, E flat 7, A flat major 7. I think triads So I'm thinking little triad shapes all over the place. That's how I learned the fretboard. Just, I know I'm a little rusty right now. Forgive me and forgive myself. But that's how I did it. And I didn't learn caged until years and years and years and years later. That's how I did it. I'm not saying that's what you should do, but you asked, like, everyone has their own map, and that's my map. MFizz, hi. Raphael Morgan says, sorry for the typos. No problem. Typos are cool here. Lode van Nuiten, I know I'm butchering that, says, I work on triads, finding ways to connect them melodically. The difficulty I experience is that my brain has difficulty thinking about the scale and the arpeggio of the chords simultaneous. The brain has to think about the scale and the chords simultaneous. Yeah. So let's see. Connect triads melodically. So I'm going to just pick 2 triads. Well, I don't know. Loda, if you're there, give me 2 triads. And let's see if we can connect them. Timinator says, howdy, Adam. San Gabriel says, I wonder if you talk about your right hand touch on the string. I've always admired your tone and dynamics. Thank you. Well, let's see. I'm going to answer this first question first. Let's connect B and E. So I'm just going to play and try to connect them melodically. So. Is that the kind of stuff that you're talking about? Like that kind of connecting them melodically? Is it something like that? thinking, in that case, I'm thinking of B is the 1 chord and E is the 4 chord. So I'm thinking we're in the key of B. So we're in the key of B, hopefully, and actually tune also. And so I'm just thinking of, first of all, 2 shapes, B. From any B, I want to know where the nearest E is. So first you need to be able to do that. And if you're not sure how to do that, that takes practice. So I'm trying, any place you've got B, there's an E lurking nearby, and there might be one back here too. So the first thing, without even getting into melody, is just to be able to, oh man, Anton just gave a super nice little tip. Very, very much appreciated. Let me finish my thought, and then I want to read that. And I know there's another question from St. Gabriel. So first thing is you need to be able to just go blocky from E to B. And then for each of those Bs, I try to think, well, what could I move? I could move the top voice. And then so I kind of hear this melody. Once I go up, I hear da, da, da. Or we could have kept going up. And then I've made an E major 7 because the melody went, or the melody could be 4 notes. And then I wind up on F sharp, or the melody could be 5 notes. It could be 6 notes even. And so I just practice little things like that. Or the melody could go down. Or the melody could stay. Or the melody could make a bigger leap. But everything I'm doing, I'm trying to hear the melody and chase that. And hopefully I've done enough kind of groundwork before that. Getting the triads is not the hard part. But I'm not thinking about arpeggios. You mentioned in your question, like, you get bogged down with scales and arpeggios. I'm really just basically thinking it's all in the key of B. And so everything... I know the B scale up and down all of my strings, and hopefully you do too. And I know my B and E triads up and down the strings. And so I'm just trying to use melody to chase that around. Let me change keys. I'll do the same thing between D and G. So now, so we're in the key of D. So, I cheated. I went to E minor, but I'm just chasing melody, 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 melody. It's almost as if we were a piano player, you could play melodies with your right hand, and then grabbing the chords should be totally independent. On the guitar, that's really an illusion. No, can't really do that. Maybe Stanley Jordan with tapping could do it, but that's what I'm going for. So I hope that's helpful, Lodi. And I know I'm not saying your name right, but I am talking to you, and I hope that answers your question. St. Gabriel asked about my right hand touch, and then Anton, I see you have a question there. My right hand touch, well, it's kind of a little crazy because in order to do stuff for YouTube, I often hold my guitar at an angle that's not really how I play. right now I'm just sitting cross-legged, and this is more or less how I play. I pick more straight up and down than a lot of people do. Um, I'm trying to keep this mic close, but not in the shot because it messes up the focus. I hope you all can hear me. I'll just talk loud to make sure you can hear me. But I pick, you know, I'm not doing the pick at the angle thing that some people do. I know that's a thing that a lot of guitar players do. I, I'm more kind of straight up and down. Sometimes I anchor, but I try not to. Let's see, how can I get in here? Light touch. This is a pretty heavy pick. It's Fender Extra Heavy, but light touch, I let it move a little bit as I play, which wouldn't be great if you're trying to play super fast, I guess, but I never am trying to play super fast. So if anything, I just practice real slow. And when you practice slow, you can really focus on tone. If you want to play fast, I don't have any advice because I've not worked on that very much. But tone is important to me, so that's what I do. Okay. Uh, Anton Paris says, thanks for your community service. Question: have you tried playing a standard in all 12 keys as a solo guitar arrangement? I'm trying it right now, and some keys make the melody where the middle voice would be rather than the top. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Anton, this is definitely one of those things that I wish we could really chat in person, but let's see. Trying to play a standard in all 12 keys as a solo guitar arrangement. I'm trying it right now, and some keys make the melody where the middle voice would be rather than the top. Well, let's see. Like, Anton, what's a tune that you're working on in all 12 keys? I'm going to look at some other questions. No shred zone here. Yes. Uh, mm, oh, Dan is here. Wow. Uh, okay, so someday, Dan, if you've got a question, I need a second to get to it because I'm trying to get to this Anton question. So let me see if I can do it. So in E flat, let's see. Let's see. I'm just going to try it in some different keys and see if I get into the spot that you're talking about. We'll try it in a different key. So you're talking about like what happens when you play the melody down low? If you're talking about just the fact that the melody goes down, I don't know exactly get how it gets to be the middle voice. The melody should always be on top, but if it gets to be in that kind of low middle register, just get whatever you can under it. You don't have to play 4-part or even 3-part chords all the time. You like I would either just play small stuff like, let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Like you can either just play the melody down low without any chords, or just move it up an octave. You can always there's no reason if you're playing something in all 12 keys, if it gets too low to put harmony under it, just take it up an octave. Like that's what I would do. I hope that makes sense. You were doing tenths, which gets above melody. Let's see. Let's see. I have to think about that. Even if you're doing tenths, you just have to keep the melody on top. Gosh, I wish we could get together. I'm gonna try onto a different question, but I hope that was helpful. Let's see. Dan is asking about something. Dan, if you're still there, Dan was saying, I was reading that you can use diminished chords to modulate into other keys. Yeah, of course. Yeah, let's talk about diminished. That's cool. Um, uh, so let's say you're in, let's pick a song like, a song. Let's see. Well, I'll say with "Someday My Prince Will Come" because I'm a glutton for punishment and I'm still floundering my way through this. But so let's say we're in G. Let's see. So blah blah blah, and we get back to G. We can use diminished chords. Um, Diminished chords are these kind of portals. I think of them as to other keys. So, like, if we're in G, we don't even have to play "Someday My Prince Will Come." We're in G. If I want to get to the key of B, let's see, I could get to the new key by a diminished a half step below or a whole step above, and I'll show you what I mean. So that's all in G. And I just kind of jumped back to G. So I'll do that again. So there I went C sharp diminished, and now I'm in B. But it wasn't just that I used C sharp diminished. In that little moment of modulation, I used, these are notes that are in the key of G and also in the key of B. And now when I want to go from B back to G, I'll try to use that same little portal. I already did something funny there. So I was in B and I went through A diminished. And now I'm just going to try to go back and forth as quickly as I can. I don't know if it's a great illustration, but the point is that you can get to any new key or new chord through diminished, half step below or whole step above. But don't forget that you have to do something that is melodically connective, or melodic sleight of hand sometimes, to kind of be like, look over here. Oh, I changed keys when you weren't looking. So I'll pick two other keys. I'll pick, let's say we want to go from D to B flat. So I did the same melody in both keys. So it kind of ties those together. to get back to D, so I've got to go to E diminished. I'm in B flat. Now I'm in D. I want to get to B flat. Oh, that was terrible. There it is. So I play the B flat even though it doesn't belong to the key of D or even to a C diminished, but I'm playing forward into where I'm going. It's just about melody, and voice leading. Okay. Mike says, I've been a cage guy for 50 years, but have been moving more and more to triads in my dotage. And I'm digging them. They open things up in so many more ways. I really think they do. I know I'm biased because that's how my teacher taught me, and I loved my teacher. And I really had two teachers that emphasized triads. Mainly, the main guy was a guy you probably don't know who taught at my music school. His name was Peter Butterfield. And then Ted Green, of course, big on triads. Okay. Oh, lots of other stuff going on here. Orisha Trompe Le Monde. Wow, awesome. Did you play when you visited Kansas City for JHS? I sure would have come to see you if I knew. I did not play a show there. I went to Kansas City. I spent 2 days there with JHS. I shot a pedal video with them, which was really fun, and that'll be up on their YouTube channel soon, I hope. I don't really know. And then I also gave a workshop there. They have a space not in the JHS shop, but nearby at their. They have a place called Art House 808, and I did a workshop there for about 30 students. Let's see. JD has entered the chat. Oh, JD, man. Hey, bud. I love JD. I didn't even realize he was here because I was just daydreaming with diminished chords. Media Insight says legato is good for some speed, not one of my objectives, but handy occasionally. Yeah, legato is great for speed. That's about the only speed I can do is legato. I really don't have super chops to not play legato. When I want to play fast, it's all kind of doing stuff with this hand, not this hand. JD, I love you too, man. Thank you so much. JD is a new friend. We really just met maybe a year ago, but felt a strong connection and hoping we can play some music together before too long. Oh my gosh, MK McDonald wants to know about my work on Trevor Dunn's Debutantes and Centipedes. That is something nobody ever asks me about, and I'm delighted to talk about it. Cool. Okay. Hang out, JD. I'm going to get into the weeds of a project that a lot of people don't even know that I did. But okay, so Trevor Dunn is an amazing bass player, plays upright and electric, plays jazz and all kinds of music, really. And for a lot of years was in a band called Mr. Bungle, and then played in a kind of offshoot band called Phantomas. He's worked with John Zorn. So if you don't know Trevor Dunn, you need to look him up. A heavy musician, incredible musician. When I was living in San Francisco in the late 90s, Trevor was on the scene there and playing jazz gigs around town. And we were roommates for a while. I moved into his apartment in the Mission District. And around that time, he was writing music for a record that he was going to make called Debutantes and Centipedes, which you can find. It's out there in the world. And he asked me if I would play on it. And at that time, all I had was, I was going to show you my ES335, but of course it's not in my hands right now. But I have a late 70s ES335. That's the only guitar I had. And I didn't know anything about getting like a heavy guitar sound, but he gave me this mixtape that he made for sonic reference. And on one side was a bunch of songs by the Melvins, the band the Melvins, and on the other side was Slayer, Rain in Blood. And all of that music was new to me, and I thought it was great. I had never heard it before, but I didn't know how to get any kind of sound like that from the equipment that I had. I thought I should try to get a Marshall, but at that time in the late 90s in San Francisco, I didn't know anybody who even owned a Marshall. I was just in the jazz world. So I wound up borrowing one of those Marshall, I think they're like JMP something. It's like a preamp. It's a tube preamp, like rack mount. So I borrowed one of those and a PV 2x12, solid state twin 12 amp, and got most of the sounds on that record through the Marshall preamp into the PV. I can't even remember if I used the effects loop or went just into the front end with that. The only other pedal I had at that time was an Expandora. So I used that for some of the dirt, and I combined that with the Marshall for some of the dirt. Most of the music on that record is through Composed. I don't have the scores anymore, but if I did, I'd hold them up and show you. There is some jamming and improv, but almost, I got to say, like 80%, 85% of that record is ink on paper. And we rehearsed for about a week at Trevor's place. And then some of it, we went to a rehearsal space because it was too loud for an apartment rehearsal. And then we recorded for several days. I don't remember what studio or how many days we had, but I think most of what you hear on the record is live takes, not a lot of editing. And we were able to do that because we had a lot of time to work on the music individually and collectively before we went into the studio. It was really hard music. It's the hardest music I've ever had to record, as far as like written stuff that was technical, a lot of crazy chord voicings that I'd never thought of before, and melodic lines. It's the most shreddy thing that I've ever done, and I'm really proud of it. If you find it, I think it's an amazing record. Thanks, Dan. I'm glad that was helpful. Hey, Nick Granville. Hey, Florian. Yeah, that's me on that record. On Trevor made 2 records with the moniker Trio Convulsant. The first one is Debutantes and Centipedes. I can't remember the name of the second record. Mary Halverson played on the second record, and it's great. Nigel Pereira says, how to harmonize with bebop lines. I don't know. I don't really try to. I think that's really hard. If you're talking about playing like that, there's so much information there. I don't know how I would harmonize that. I might just do a little bit of that. Like there's little places where you can put stuff in. I grab little things that I can grab, but not thinking about chord forms at all, just thirds, really. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to play Visa. I can't play it. Anyway, it's not something I do a lot, but if I do try to harmonize bebop lines, it's just with the smallest little things that I can get away with. That's one that lays nice because you can get open string. But yeah, just economically is how I would harmonize bebop lines. Don't try to do too much. Forget about big chords. That doesn't work. Oh wow! In Lawrence, you're in Lawrence, Kansas. That's like near the university, right? Okay. Oh my God, Clark in Space. Yes, I did teach at National Guitar Summer Workshop in Connecticut in '92. Were you in my class? If so, I want to hear more about it because that was a fun time for me. What have I not got to? Geez, I feel like I've gotten to a lot of this. Nick Gramble says, have you ever been to New Zealand? Yes, I have. When I toured with Norah Jones in the early 2000s, we played in Christchurch and Auckland. And maybe that's it. Yeah. I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to embarrass myself here. Is Tasmania part of New Zealand? If so, then also I played there. I played in Tasmania about 10 years ago at this really wild museum there that you might know about. But other than that, no, I played in Auckland and Christchurch with Norah Jones in like 2002 or 2003. Clark in Space, Sun Ra fan with a red Charvel. I have such fond memories of teaching at the National Guitar Summer Workshop in Connecticut in the 90s. Okay, Nick, I'm sorry. My geography and culture awareness is whack. Sorry. Gosh, we're almost at an hour. Does anybody have another question? Well, while we're here, do you sing? I really love your voice. The way you speak also reflects your playing, very peaceful and melodic. Um, yeah, I do sing. I'll sing a song. Maybe that'll be the way to end. This is our house, 3 little rooms. Ain't too bad when the flowers are in bloom. Don't get much sun, don't get much shade. This is our house, we got it made. This is our child, the apple from our tree. She looks like you, she talks like me. Someday she'll leave the bed in a honky-tonk parade. This is our family, we've got it made. As we fumble through the dark, our love will be the spark. Trouble may rise, but it's bound to fall away. This is our song, and now it's played. I've told the story true, I haven't strayed. There are no riches for which I trade. This is our house, we've got it made. This is our house, we've got it made. This is our house, we've got it made. Oh man. Well, thanks everybody. Really great to hang with you. I'll do another one of these soon. If you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel here, please do, and then you'll know when I come back and do another one of these. Thank you so much. Really good to be with you.